producing countries than we expected, and that's partly a sort of somewhat counterintuitive consequence of the light tight oil development. There's just less appetite for investing in frontier areas when you can extract so much out of mature areas where you have infrastructure, we have a known political climate, a proven investment climate, and all kinds of support systems that enable that facilitate investment. So we see a little bit less growth in Africa in oil. Gas may be a different story, but in oil we see a little bit less growth in developments there than we would have, consequence of unconventional developments. Israel, I think it's a gas story today. It's not really an oil story. I mean, there's talk of oil potential, but we're not there yet. For gas, it's a story, and that's something that my colleagues in the IEA gas division have been looking at, and the WEO has been, the World Energy Outlook has been looking at, and that's part of a larger story, which is the East Mediterranean gas story. And I think it's there. It's a big development, potentially, maybe not a global game changer, but a local game changer, and something that we're watching. We keep watching. There's a lot of political issues. There's a lot of uncertainties about political developments with regard to Israel-Turkish relations, Kurdistan, where does the Kurdistan fit in, Cyprus, and so on. But there's all the ingredients of a big story. And Syncrude and oil sands, well, Syncrude is, the light tight oil is one way oil sands can be brought to market. Basically, oil sands can be marketed either as bitumen, as heavy oil, or very processed as Syncrude. There's a little bit less market appetite for Syncrude because it's competing in the North American market with Bakken crude, for instance, which is, Bakken being pretty much where the Syncrude was marketed. So there's one-on-one direct competition between those crudes. And, but we do see growth in oil sands, significant growth in the next few years. And the Syncrude that's produced in Canada is not shut in. It's not completely locked. But it's fighting to find new markets, and those markets are largely domestic markets, west and east, and especially east on the Atlantic coast, Canadian Atlantic seaboard. Syncrude is being shipped by rail